Hello, everyone. I know Siobhan and I are back here backstage giggling, but we're really grateful that you're here today. We're happy that you're here to join us for what's new and coming up with Lipedema. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Gail Straker. I'm the community manager for Lipedema Simplified, and I am here today with my dear friend and colleague, Siobhan. Colleague, not calling, colleague.
Hello, I'm Siobhan, and I'm the research specialist with the Lipedema Project. I want to apologize in advance for my lighting situation. I am currently in Sweden, so it's 10 p.m. at the moment, and I cannot get my lighting sorted out, so it is what it is. You can see me. I can't see you, but I could see you in the chat if you do comment with that you're here and where you're from, and then we'll see each
Oh,
other, and it'll be great.
wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to have somebody here in the chat talking to us? Right now, we don't have any viewers, which is blowing my mind because by now there are like 10 or 12 already on. So if you're watching this as a replay, please make sure that you reach out to us and let us know um, that you were on here. Make some comments. I always think, am I in the wrong room when this happens? But it says right across the top, what's new and coming up with lipedema.
Yeah, I did just check. We are live. I did get the Facebook notification for it. So,
Oh, great. Oh, well. Anyways, so as soon as people start coming on, I'll start greeting them. But before that happens, because I know people are watching this as a replay, we get several hundred who watch them on each one of our channels, and so we're really grateful for that. And we do broadcast to 8 channels. So, Siobhan, I think first I need to talk about what's going on with Catherine.
hmm
She wishes she could be here, but um, she had a home nurse visit, and on the home nurse visit, it said that the nurse said that she was to stay laid down.
hmm
She has to remain horizontal for a while, whatever that means, because a while doesn't mean much, but that's what she was.
yeah, it depends on who you're asking.
I know, right? A while for some is 5 minutes. A while for me is like 3 or 4 days. Um, so anyway, so she has to remain horizontal. She wishes she could be here with us today, but she does want all of us to know that if you want to find out more about the lymphatic system, in the heart to heart, we will be having people talking about the lymphatic system, and so take an opportunity to come to our heart to heart. In a few minutes, we'll put that link in so that you know what we're talking about and you can register. Now I'm starting to get nervous because it's already 4 minutes in and we don't have any viewers.
Hmm.
I'm serious. Like StreamYard says, what's new and coming up with lipedema? I wonder, and I invited people. I know I did. So, anyways, uh, this is going to have to be a replay video, I guess, where people aren't getting into StreamYard, and it could be something on StreamYards. And I have received messages sometimes when we have issues. So anyway, um, whatever happens, we always work things out. So Siobhan, you have been doing some traveling recently. You're in Sweden right now. Before you went to Sweden, where did you go?
So before Sweden, I was actually in Berlin for a day, and then before that, I was in Potsdam, which is fairly close to Berlin. And I was in Potsdam because that is where the Lipedema World Congress was being held, the first one ever. Um, and it was super cool. I like need to rewatch some presentations as usual, but I love being able to go in person and live because then I can interact during the Q&A and I can talk to people. I can talk to people after they've done their presentations. There were some points where the moderators were like, continue this discussion in the hall, like keep going, but and that was very fun too. There are a lot of really good conversations and discussions, and we'll be discussing a lot of what we learned and what we've been thinking about and kind of what we took away from that tomorrow during a free webinar. So it's going to be Lisa, Matt Carmody, and me, because all three of us were at the Congress. And we'll be sharing all that stuff with you and our takeaways, and hopefully having lots of really good discussion and all of that. Also, I just wanted to briefly mention I did check on YouTube, and it looks like there are people watching. So I'm wondering if we're just having issues with the chat syncing up.
It could be. And I usually have a ticker tape up here. Thank you for checking that, Siobhan, because I was starting to hyperventilate over here.
Yeah.
Hyperventilate in Idaho. There's nobody watching, so I'm glad you guys are watching. Thank you so much. And I'm sorry if the comments aren't able to come up or the ticker isn't showing that you're watching. So thank you for giving me that little sense of calm, Siobhan. I appreciate it. So hopefully what I put in the comments, you'll be able to see. I put the link for the webinar in there. Please make sure you register. It's an amazing situation. Anytime we have a free webinar, if you register and you can't make it, you can you'll get a link later to the webinar replays. And
Yeah.
so when we say they're free webinars, they're free, and then you can go ahead and watch it later. And those are really handy, especially if there's something that you see and you think, "Ooh, I like that, and I want to show that to my sister," or I want to. Anyway, so tell me a little bit more about um, what happened with the World Congress.
Yeah, so kind of what it was is a meeting of the minds. So there were patient representatives, so we got some really good voices from Italy, from Sweden, from the US, from all over the place. And they got to add their comments, which was super helpful because sometimes with science, we can end up siloing things. So we only hear from the doctors and the clinician point of view, or we only hear from the scientist and the science part of view, or we only hear from the patient. And this was bringing everyone together, which is kind of the whole point of Congress meetings like this. So we can hear it from each perspective. So we did have researchers who had published papers on lipedema. We had patient advocates representing patient associations like the Lipedema Project, but also others. And then also clinicians were there. So there were some, for example, who did like lipedema reduction surgery. And one thing that came up that was really interesting is people were like, we should stop saying liposuction. We should say lipedema reduction surgery specifically because it's a specialized procedure. It emphasizes that it's for a medical treatment. So I've started doing that as well. I've stopped saying liposuction and now I say lipedema reduction surgery. And that can come in many forms too. So it may in part be liposuction like procedures. It may be other stuff as well. So
Yes.
that was kind of cool. And there was tons of discussion and talking to people and presentations, of course. They were actually fairly short presentations, which I thought was interesting. So you got like a brief flash, and then you're kind of encouraged to read the paper if there is one, or strike up further discussion to kind of continue the conversation. There were lots of emotions. I was kind of surprised because the patient advocates helped to give this perspective of what was going on from each country, and it varied a lot. So there was one person talking about how it is in Italy, for example, and the struggle with that. People in Sweden talking about their struggles, and there was some overlap, and some they had like some things covered, and some there's like nothing covered at all. They had a lot of trouble getting support. Um, yeah, so it was really cool. And the other thing I appreciated with it was the core thing was it's fine if we disagree on some things. Like we just have to agree that this is important, that there are things we don't know yet, and that there are things that we agree on, and just kind of sort out where we need to go from here. Also, real quick, I pulled up the YouTube chat. So I can see people. So I want to take a second and say hello to people because we can see you. So Fractal Beans is back.
Hey,
Hello.
Elena. Her
Um,
name's Elena.
oh, Elena. Okay. Elena said, hello, ladies. Nice to see you. Nice to see you too, now that we have the chat up. Linda Whaley said, hi, guys. Summerson said, watching live from Ireland. That is cool.
Hey, that's cool.
Dottie Norris, hi from Indiana. Hello from a mostly raised Hoosier, though I don't live there anymore. And Mary Lee said hello from the Pacific Northwest, USA. Hello back. Juanetta
Marilee,
said, yep, Mary Lee.
I said, Marilee, send me an email or something. I haven't heard from you for a while.
Juanetta said hello from sunny, chilly Anchorage. Yeah, and thanks for the weather report. I'm always curious what the weather is like elsewhere. It's really chilly here in Sweden right now. Greta said hello from Norway. Hey, hey, how's it going? And Fractal Bean said, Siobhan, is there any chance that any meeting from the Congress, presentations, etc., will go online? I believe so through the Congress itself. And then I know we're working on some stuff in the background. Basically, we're working on, it's kind of like when I do a presentation for a low carb conference, for example, we have to wait for all the odds and ends to get worked out, and then we can have it available for people. So we are working on getting the posters available also. And then Elena also said, and congratulations on the poster. Thank you. It was unexpected. It caught me off guard.
Well,
Um,
so do you know, Siobhan, that Lisa and I have been talking you up right and left all the way about you being like it was you were the only person, it was your poster. But anyway, so
it
tell
was
me,
not my poster. It was our poster. I will say that
okay,
until
I
my very
understand
last
that.
breath.
I know you worked on it. It was our poster. But here's the thing. Now, did you have to stay out by the poster and present it while you were out there?
Yeah, so how it worked is that there were two sessions where poster presentations were being done. I believe they were recording them because they also had tech, like you say your name in case it was like difficult to pronounce, like many people's actually, not just mine, which was nice. Um, and so you would give you're supposed to be 3 minute, not just me, but many people went over because that's really, really difficult to do. So it was about 30 posters at a time, one right after the other. So I got to see a bunch of cool posters also. And then when they announced that we had won best poster for the ketogenic diet poster, the mechanisms, proposed mechanisms, then I went and gave the presentation on stage as well. And I'm glad I had done like many presentations in public before that, because otherwise it would have been like, but it was like, oh, okay. He was
Okay.
like, oh, are you okay giving it up like in front of the audience? It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and Lisa did say, because she was sitting with you in the front row, she said you got pretty emotional when you found out.
Well,
Well,
she can say that. I was hoping that part would stay just between me
I
and Lisa and the
I
staff.
know.
It was
But,
just keep it
it's
under wraps a little
now
bit.
the world knows it because she's talked about it online a couple times. But here's the thing, I can just imagine how deep it touches you to have to know that this work that we're all doing, that the whole entire
Hmm.
team is doing, is making an impact to the point where they felt that
I'm not sure if I froze or if Gail did. Chat if you want to enlighten us as to who it is. Hopefully she'll uh, leave and come back. Okay. I think
I'm
Gail, you froze for a second.
I everything went black over here, so it went dark. So I'm just trying to make sure I have good internet right now, because I don't know why it's pretty
Yeah, so while Gail is frozen, I'll go ahead and switch back to the comments for a second. So Summer Sun said, suction assisted lipectomy is another term I have heard used for lipedema reduction surgery. Yeah, I like that one too. And I think that discussion is good of like what exactly are we talking about, and that actually being important for insurance companies, for example, emphasizing that it's not just cosmetic, it's actually a treatment for a disorder. Hi, Catherine.
So
I hope
I
you're lying down and
am
horizontal.
horizontal, but hold on. I have to shut down my phone. Okay. I was watching you guys on my phone, and when Gail froze, I didn't want to leave the conversation there
Mm-hmm.
because I am so proud of you and of us and what Gail was saying. I think she's back. Gail, are you back? All
am
right.
I waving? Am I waving? If I
Yes.
am, yeah.
So, Gail, you were saying about the impact of the work and how it's affected us. And I just jumped in because you froze. So why don't you keep going, and then I'll add a few comments as well.
Okay, so I was telling the world that with everything that we're doing, there are so many people, from what we could tell from all the countries that are being involved. There's a lot of people involved, right? But we and showing with the poster that we presented, and it shows that we are not, number one, just a patient advocacy group, right? It shows that we're having an impact, not only for our community, but for the medical community, for the nutrition community, for everything, the pumps, the products that we need. We are having an impact at Lipedema Simplified and Lipedema Project, because I truly believe it's because the people who are working on this, except for Leslyn, right, have lipedema, Leslyn and Dr. Carmody, but also because we are the patient. The community is the patient.
Mm-hmm.
The patients are the community. And it's like we are telling people, this is the way it is. Listen up.
And I want to say, and I want to add, because I think it's what makes us, well, it's what makes the poster that Siobhan was representing top in over, I think it was 50 posters. It was chosen out of 50 or 60 posters because there's science behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Leslyn has her doctorate. I have my doctorate. Dr. Carmody has his MD. Siobhan is one of the most brilliant researchers that I've ever worked with. It has the ability to look at complex scientific info and to make links. She's able to see it from the patient's point of view, from the researcher's point of view, from a scientific view, and able to make assessments and move forward with it. So I think that's important. And that's why I jumped in, even though I'm still lying down.
You better be horizontal, lady.
Yeah, we'll call your nurse and let her know. We'll
Really?
Also,
tattle on you.
yeah, I'm just going to call
No,
it
no,
function.
no. This one, it was a him and a cutie too. He was very nice.
Oh,
Very nice. And yeah, he actually gave me some prescription that I had to follow. So anyway,
Good.
it's so interesting, the impact And I think that's what has taken me in some ways to a deeper place. Because even though I wasn't in Germany, the impact of what you guys did in Germany, I have felt in our work. And that's why I'm thrilled. If you're not already signed up, come tomorrow. We have over 700 people have registered. It's the next best thing to having gone to Germany is Siobhan and Lisa and Dr. Carmody, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and I'll
it's
just add, it was a bit of an interesting experience for me because I'm used to hanging out like with you guys, like with our community and our people, and recognizing people and being like, oh, hey, Juanetta, hey, like all these other people. And I get to the Congress and I'm like, I am this tiny fish in this huge pond. And I actually didn't interact with the Q&A for a while because I was just thinking, oh, you know what are they going to care? Like they have this stuff pretty well handled, it looks like. And I did eventually participate, but then the poster presentation thing happened, and it was like, oh, like I'm not just me, I'm representing this larger thing, and we're all working together, and people are recognizing that. And as a matter of fact, like the Lipedema Project and Lipedema Simplified are part of this even bigger thing, and this is my community. Like these are my people as much as like you guys are my people. So then it was very exciting, and I had a lot of fun chatting with people and like talking to researchers and clinicians and getting a whole bunch of different perspectives from all over the world. And yeah, I'm hoping there's going to be another one next year because I'm already like prepared to go.
Yeah, I
Let's do
heard
it.
the rumor I heard is that they're going to do it every other year, which is what they sometimes do.
That's also reasonable. That
Yeah,
gives a good amount of time.
it gives enough time in between for research to happen and for things
Yeah.
to be happening. So my voice sounds horrible because I'm still recovering from surgery. So I just want you guys to know that. And I'll be talking about it more. So do come to our event. And I'm a mess. So I'm going to say I love you all and I'll see you soon.
we
All
love you,
right. Get some
Catherine.
rest, Catherine. We love you.
Thanks.
So it was good to see you, Catherine. I'm so glad you popped in. And I get to wave to her because I can see her. She's still in the icons across the bottom.
Yeah. Juanetta said in all caps, rest.
Yeah, rest. And then she says, in 2 years, let's do it in Rome.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm thinking we should start taking a poll and say, okay, where can we go in 2 years that we haven't been? Let's go to Australia. Oh, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go here. Let's
I
go
have
there.
heard like people were talking about it moving around because then just by it being there, you raise awareness wherever you're at.
Right.
And like South America, like all these different places, and suddenly it's like, wait, what is that? Like, what's going on there? I've seen
Right.
it with like the low carb conferences too. They hold them at different places. Sometimes they shift around because they're getting the locals involved as well.
Right. Right. And when you have an event like this and you start getting the like you say, the locals involved, sometimes you can start getting the vendors involved as well. For example,
Mm-hmm.
they do Keto Fest in New London, um,
Connecticut.
Connecticut. Thank you. I'm like, which state was that in? And they now have restaurants and vendors
Mm-hmm.
who focus on low carb or keto, carnivore, so it's sometimes it takes a while, but it starts bringing that awareness in.
Yeah.
When it's already been decided. Juanetta says, Rome is it? Rome is it? Oh, I don't know if it's been, I don't know, Juanetta. If you think it's been decided, give us a link that shows us where it's been decided. Unless it's
Yeah,
just,
if it actually has already been decided, like I wouldn't be surprised if they're already like, all right, this is our next one.
right.
Yeah, just give us the link and we'll. Make sure we have the times booked and the
Right.
tickets ready.
Yeah, and speaking of links, I do want to let you know that I can see as you can tell, I can see the comments now because I knew Winetta was talking, and I can see that we have 31 people up there, but nobody loves us. I haven't seen any hearts or any thumbs up. So I'm going to challenge everybody. If you know where the button is that sends an emoji to us, whether it's a thumbs up on YouTube or it's a heart on, oh, one heart, thank you, on Facebook, you start smashing that button so I know you're out there because right now I feel unloved. No, oh, there's 4. Woohoo! Okay. So
Yay.
I was gonna say, oh, and of
Yeah.
course,
Also, I realized, oh, Winetta said, not sure the page is up yet, but Dr. Goads, etc., said Rome. Okay, well, there we go. Cool. I'm excited to see Rome then. That's cool.
that would be
Okay, and
awesome.
then
And when that
yeah,
is the state in 2 years? Is that what you
yeah,
said?
every other year. So in 2
Years in Rome.
years in Rome.
Cool.
Cool.
I might just my husband will be retired. I might just go to Rome.
Hey, yeah, why not? We need more
Yeah.
representatives.
So, oh, look at everybody. They're sending us hearts in their comments. Thank you so much. So, speaking of stuff, okay, so Siobhan, Lisa, I'm sorry, every time I say put my mouth with an L, I'm about to say Lisa, it comes out Leslyn. That's what I do. Leslyn for 4 years. So Siobhan and Lisa and Dr. Carmody will be holding that webinar tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Please, please, please make sure that you register for it. And I don't know if you saw, um, I don't know if you got the link because I don't know
It
if it
did
went.
pop up in the YouTube chat. I did
It
see
did
that
pop
pop
up
up.
on YouTube? Okay. So I actually have it listed as webinar October 21st at 3 p.m. Eastern. So you can click on that. That's a live link. You can register for it. And believe you me, you are going to be thrilled. Now, when we hold webinars, those here in Lipedema Simplified, we do not hold it in a webinar format. Webinar formats mean you don't get to talk to anybody. Webinar formats mean you get to listen and you can throw stuff into a chat. With webinars that we play with here at Lipedema Simplified, we hold it as a meeting. So we see the audience, and the audience can interact with us, and it will have a Q&A, and we will have when if you have never heard Lisa, you're going to be absolutely thrilled. She's she's amazing. We already know Siobhan's amazing because she's been with us quite a while, and then Dr. Carmody. Oh, what an amazing, warm, open, listening soul. Um, I just I adore him, and and so we have three people, three representatives who went to the World Congress. Dr. Carmody presented our paper, the
Mm-hmm.
our paper to be published. Dr. Carmody presented that. Siobhan presented the poster, and Lisa moderated a roundtable of patients. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
were right there. And one of the things that Lisa always says is, "Oh, Catherine calls me a tsunami." Yes, is a tsunami, and you're gonna love the splash. She made a splash. Um, so like Juanetta said, she says, I have renewed hope every time I hear Dr. Carmody. He's an amazingly compassionate caregiver, and he is.
Mm-hmm.
He is just brilliant, and we love him so dearly. So okay, now that we've talked about that, another thing I want to talk about is our upcoming Heart to Heart event. We have um, Heart to Heart. It's what we call our quote unquote symposium or our conference. We have them twice a year. We have one in October, or we've been in October. So one in the autumn and one in the spring. And this one it's called. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, here we go. It is on. It is on October 27th, 28th, and 29th. And this is basically, I would say, 30 plus hours of information, interaction, and you can register for that. I've already put the link in the comments. You can register for that, and you can get you can buy the basic package for the registration, or you can upgrade to a VIP status. That's all there on our page. So when you get in there, double check. And I will tell you, if you're registered for a VIP, we start off with a VIP pre-show. So we're starting tomorrow with a VIP Q&A pre-conference meet and greet. When we do things here, we don't do anything halfway, I don't think. Do we, Siobhan?
Yeah, there's usually lots of bonuses and lots of time to hang out and have good discussion. And it's kind of similar to the Congress in that way, in that we don't just want to hear the kind of science or practitioner point of view, we also want to hear the patient point of view, and then all of us discussing so that we can learn from each other. So I'm really excited for the event. I always learn at least a couple of things, and there's always one thing that I can take away and start doing right then, because I'm 2 years and change into the diagnosis, almost 3 years, I guess. And it's like there's still stuff where it's like, okay, now I need to do this and this and this and this and this. And it's like, okay, what's one thing?
Right. And I find that with that one thing, it
If
gets me
you're a
started.
newcomer, it also gives the opportunity to acquaint yourself with the options and then just pick one thing. So we work very hard not to be overwhelming and to focus on that we can all have one thing that we can do and work on kind of getting comfortable with that, and then add the next thing, so it's not so there's 10 million different things. What do I do? Well, you just have to worry about one of those. You don't have to worry about the rest yet.
Right. And then if you do something and that automatically gives you hope,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, all of a sudden you're going, okay, I can, sometimes you see results right away. I mean, for like me, when I went keto, I shouldn't say that I went keto because I didn't go keto, didn't go anywhere. But when I when I decided to make a dietary change, when I decided to make a nutrition change for myself, for my health, the very first thing I did was eliminated grains.
Mm-hmm.
And within 3 days, I wasn't dealing with acid reflux anymore. And so it was like
Yeah.
results. Within 3 weeks, my ankles weren't swollen and I didn't have the pain in my legs. Oh, there I go. So
Mm-hmm.
doing one seemingly small thing is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a there's a challenge for people who have never had to just like remove grain from their nutritional plan. But it's hard.
And
It's
it's also hard if you have made dietary changes in the past and then it didn't work for you. Like that past history and pattern can be really difficult to try new things. So it does take bravery either way.
right. Right. And that was me. I had, I've dieted since I was 11. I was dieting,
Mm-hmm.
dieting. And it was just like this, right? And just a roller coaster. And I was always focused on my weight, always, my
Mm-hmm.
whole entire life. Changing my dietary intake, my nutrition for my health
Mm-hmm.
was a totally brand new concept. I've never eaten for my health until I decided I was done with brain fog and I gave up grain. And so with that dietary change for my health was totally different than a dietary change for trying to lose weight.
Yeah, and it's something I always try to emphasize when I'm talking to people because oftentimes people will come up and be like, I changed blah, 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 whether it's nutrition or not, and I lost weight or I got smaller or smaller pant size or whatever. And my first question is, and how are you feeling? And often the answer is like, I feel much better. My mood is better. My energy levels are better. I have less pain, whatever it is. It's like, okay, let's emphasize that part
Right,
because that often gets left behind and forgotten, but it's something that should be emphasized. Like,
right,
and once you start seeing things get a little bit better, it really opens your mind to the question of how much better can this actually get with
right.
little bitty steps? How good can things be? And I think that's a good question to ask.
And it really is because they always call them non-scale victories. And
Mm-hmm.
I used to call them non-scale victories, and then pretty soon I thought the scale has never given me a victory. So basically, they're just victories.
Mm-hmm.
They're successes. They're challenges that I met face on, or maybe I came out, maybe I didn't meet them face on. Maybe I kept like whacking around it a bit and then decided, okay, whatever it is, those are my victories, and we don't see those. We're so focused on a number on a scale that really means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Means nothing. It's an
Yeah.
arbitrary number. We all, I mean, it's just an arbitrary number. So, I hope, I know, I hope to encourage everybody to do what I did about 2 years ago. Give your scale away and say,
Mm-hmm.
keep it to whoever, your mom, your brother, your next door neighbor, give that scale away and say, will you please hold this for me? Keep it safe. I spent $200 on it so it could remember who I was every time I stepped on it. And it will also send messages to my phone and tell me when and when not to eat. Please take this nasty thing that I adore and I'm hooked to and keep it safe somewhere. And that's what I
Yeah.
did. I
Yep.
did.
I actually stopped weighing about a year ago because it's like I'm focusing on all this other stuff at the moment. I'm focused on swelling. I'm focused on my relationship with food. I'm focused on strength training. I'm focused on all this other stuff. Like why I'm like weighing is not really doing anything for me. And if anything, it just makes me focused on a number when that's not actually what I care about. Like I care about mobility. I care about how healthy my legs are, how happy my legs look, pain levels, achiness levels, swelling, like all this other stuff that is way outside of that and has nothing to do with anything. So I didn't get rid of it. I still have it. I just don't use it. It's like tucked away and it can stay there. I
Good.
did actually use it right before I traveled to weigh my suitcase to make sure it was under 50 pounds.
I have I have a little teeny handheld thing. I go, it tells me it's
Ah,
full,
cool.
and I cannot hang on it to find out how much I weigh. So actually, it was funny because after 2 years, I asked my daughter. I said, "I gave you my scale, right?" And she was like, "Yes." And I said, "Where is it?" And she looked at me like I was crazy. She goes, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "No, I just want to know where it is. What are you going to do if I tell you?" I don't know. She goes, "You really want me to tell you where it is?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You gave it to me that day and I threw it in the trash." I'm like, I spent $200 on that thing. She goes, "It was a wasted $200, Mom." I'm just like, but
Yeah, sunken cost fallacy is real. We gotta get away from it. If it's not helping us, it's gotta go.
it does. And it's not easy. I mean, every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, I'd step on that scale. It was like, I
Mm-hmm.
have no idea why I was so attached to that particular number because it would go down once in a while and then I'd be have a good day and then it would go up and I'd have a rotten day. Or I would
Mm-hmm.
punish myself all day and then get back on the scale to see if the punishment worked. I mean, it's really quite it's a beast.
Yeah.
It's
And the thing for me is like I do still track body composition, but I take measurements instead, which are going to fluctuate much less. And it's like it's a much less stressful process for me because often what happens is I take my measurements and it's the same. It's like, okay, I don't need to change anything then. I'm doing fine. And then I put it away.
right.
But with weight, like it can fluctuate so much with fluid, with stress, with hormonal cycles, with a whole bunch of different things, and even building muscle mass. Like I could gain gain weight from gaining muscle mass, and it would not tell me that. So the
Right.
measurements tell me things are staying the same. I don't have to worry about it. Like that's the main
Right.
thing for me.
And I mean, yeah, and that there's that picture that Catherine always shows in the presentations of a community member who has a before and after picture of like 3 weeks on
Hmm.
keto, not 1 pound lost, but you would not think that was the same person.
Yeah,
The
I do
changes,
also have progress pictures, and it's like I'm looking for like again how healthy do my legs look? Like the smoothness of the skin, has that changed? Those types of things. And those are reflecting things that I actually care about, which is largely tissue health and progression and things like that. And again, it's much less stressful because I look at the pictures, I compare it to the last one. It's like, okay, nothing changed.
right.
Or like things have improved, and that's good.
Right. And so we encourage you to get some therapy and help it that will help you get rid of your scale if you're married to your scale.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's
mainly just make sure that the tools that you're using are giving you information about the goals that you actually care about. Maybe weight is one of those things and you want to track like swelling, for example. Maybe you're aware that the fluctuations are probably fluid and you want to track that, that's fine. But if you're developing this really unhealthy relationship, maybe there are other tools that you can use to track similar things, but that actually give more detailed information that you can be less stressed out about.
right, right, right. And yeah, take care of yourself in ways that don't stress you out. One one at a time. With that,
Hmm.
we have been on here for almost well, over 40 minutes. We apparently we're no longer freezing. Everything seems to gotten worked out, which I hope that all of you who have been here, thank you so much for being so patient with us. We probably will not be here. Um, we we probably will not be here on Friday of next week because Friday of next week is day one of our heart to heart. As you can see, it's October
Hmm.
7th. And so we probably will not be here. We will be elsewhere, and we hope that you're there with us. Um,
Hmm.
so go ahead and register for that. Register for tomorrow, the free webinar. That is just going to be phenomenal. And let's see what else. Take care of yourself in ways that don't stress you out. Thank you, Facebook user. Hey, boom. That must be Lisa. Lisa says that, right? Is that you, Lisa? You have a link. Come here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so take care of yourself in ways that don't stress you out. Other than
Yeah.
that, what else do you have to say before we sign off?
We love you all. We'll see you next time. We'll see some of you tomorrow. We'll see some of you next week. And we'll be here if you need anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're in it.
Yep, we're here. We're hey, you know what? How does my daughter says, Mom, you're on the stage. Mom, you're in the arena. You're doing it. And you know what? We're all doing it. We're on that
Yeah,
stage.
we're doing it.
We're in the arena. We're doing it. All of us are. Every single one of us. So keep doing it. With that,
Yeah.
have a great afternoon.